Jerk baits are something that there's a million of them out there, and they all look kind of similar, right? A jerk bait's a jerk bait. It looks like a minnow, has a bill on it, some suspend, some float, but there's really specific applications I use a lot of different jerk baits for, down to little jerk baits like the Margate here. Bait's really small. Even in the wintertime, this can be a really good jerk bait. Put it on a spinning rod, 6-pound line. It gets a lot of bites. It's kind of like a floating fly. Little stuff works when the water's really cold. The Margate is a really good bait to mimic little bait fish, but also when the water's cold. You jump up to an X80 size. This is a really good jerk bait that has more action to it. So based on the body shape and the bill, this bait's actually going to dart a little bit more. Not as good a cold water bait, but really good clear water situations. You're trying to mimic small bait, work a jerk bait faster. That smaller jerk bait can be good. You get into bigger long bill jerk baits like this Revenge here, and these longer bills really deaden the action of the jerk bait, so it doesn't do a lot. Great wintertime bait though. It's going to get down a little bit deeper, but it's also not going to do as much, which is really important in the winter. So those long bill jerk baits like that, really isolated for me to that wintertime fish and water's cold. We get into a traditional jerk bait size, something like a Vision 110. Standard bill, really a pretty universal bait. Doesn't go as deep as I like a lot of times when the water's really cold, but a bait you can get quite a bit of action out of. Use it a lot of the year. A very average size jerk bait that a lot of the jerk baits are modeled after. We also have the same jerk bait with a longer bill. It's not going to go as deep as the big spoonbill jerk baits, but again has more of a dead action. It's a bait that gets down. A lot of times I'll just pull it in cold water. It's going to get down a little bit deeper, but has a dead action. A really good cold water jerk bait, but a bait I don't use much after the water gets to 55 or 60. I'll move to something with a smaller bill. It's going to have more action and draw fish a little bit further. Now the bigger jerk baits, a Mag 110. This one here is really used when I'm around bigger fish or more cover. So we get to places in Texas where there's dirty water, standing timber, places where power fishing dominates. The big jerk bait draws a lot of attention to it. One of the things this big jerk bait can be good for is trying to draw fish from a long way. So you go to smallmouth fisheries, spotted bass, more aggressive fish, clean water. You can actually draw fish further with a big jerk bait like that. So that's pretty much my jerk bait lineup. Obviously there's a million colors, but there's different jerk baits for different applications. Not every jerk bait is equal.